There's one vehicle etched in American auto racing history.
The Ford GT was one of those cars that made us all love cars to begin with when we were kids.
A 60s racing legend.
It was way, way, way in advance of a lot of the cars that were being run at the time.
That turned the sports car world upside down.
They elicited a kind of visceral reaction.
Now it's coming back. Built from the ground up.
You're going to be working on the neatest car, neatest project you've ever done.
In record time.
We're going to be sleeping here.
It's going to be like a boot camp in the Army. You're saying low, he's saying short and long. Which is it?
To build a supercar, you need inspiration.
The rear sphere was like hips, and then got sex.
Technology.
We need to get a virtual Ferrari 360 so we can virtually blow them away.
And the will to beat the odds.
It never was intended to be on the road.
It's brutal.
It's got almost all the attributes
It's raw.
that would make an awful road car.
It's inconsistent.
Let's build it.
Build it.
Let's find a way to do it.
Build it.
In a secret location somewhere in Detroit, Michigan, a race car legend is being reborn. It is one of the most eagerly awaited supercars of the 21st century. Its code name, Petunia.
Call it the Thunderbolt or the Lightning or the Terminator. People in the business would know that that's some sort of a hot rod car that Ford's doing on, but Petunia, nobody chased that name.
We thought that was absolutely the worst name you could call any car project, but then, thinking about it, we said, who in the hell's going to ask what a Petunia is?
Petunia is a long-held dream of Ford Motor Company executives to recapture America's most successful race car, the GT40. In 1966, Ford dominated Europe's most grueling and prestigious motor race, the Le Mans 24-hour in France.
It's got a fantastic competition pedigree and heritage. It was way, way, way in advance of a lot of the cars that were being run at the time.
The GT40 rode low to the ground, just 40 inches high. It was fast, 200 miles per hour down Lausanne Straight. And reliable, running non-stop, night and day.
It was the first time that Ford had ever really competed against the major European manufacturers in Europe. And they succeeded by cubic dollars, I mean, spending enormous amounts of money.
To European horror, GT40s stole first, second, and third. America was in the sports car business. Almost 40 years later,
This is downtown Detroit.
Ford wonders if it can turn its 60s racer into a highway supercar. To speculate what it might look like, they turn to designer Camillo Pardo.
That car was very mod. At the same time, it was very functional. So that car was perfect for the time, you know, to be brought back.
Camillo's very good. He understands the engineering and the technical side of it, and he gets a little deeper in that than most stylists would care to. So we're all set with the reliable. I give you the account numbers.
Engineer Fred Goodnow has been wanting to build a supercar all his career. This could be his chance.
I was working in the background on that, even though I was asked not to. I was still working with Camillo behind the scenes to make sure that some of the engineering and the package of the mechanicals was protected.
Fred ensures the designs accommodate real-world engineering, although everyone knows very few concepts ever get made.
Guys like Goodnow and myself and that, we've been trying to do a sports car so long that it's almost, you know, you finally get to the point you say, this is never going to happen.
For 2 months, Camillo plays with designs.
We tried really hard to take the GT40 into something contemporary. Clean it up, smooth it out. We basically applied everything that we learned about automotive design in the 80s and the 90s to a GT40.
Camillo delivers some sleek and futuristic designs to Ford executives.
Each time we came up with these new cars, they started to look like all the other supercars.
People expect a Ford GT to look like a Ford GT.
And we kind of came to the realization that, you know, we were trying to improve on a work of art, on the Venus de Milo.
They elicited a kind of visceral reaction, you know, something about the design. And of course, their record of Le Mans was fantastic.
Although three-time Formula One world champion Jackie Stewart has driven everything, the GT40 style was one of a kind.
If you think back to the 60s when it was created, the mid-60s, it was like Star Wars. It was something of a new dimension.
For inspiration, an original is delivered to Camillo's office.
We almost had to do archaeology on the surfaces. We had to figure out why it had a blister here, and then it was flat there, and then had another blister here.
I think what you have to remember is the designers of the original car were doing a racing car. And one of the funny things about some of the greatest shapes in automotive history is they were done by engineers.
Camillo can see necessity drove the GT's style.
And then one day they needed this thing, so they stuck that on there and filleted it in. And one day they needed bigger tires, so they put that on top of it. And this is all that you see that's left of the original fenders, this little tiny crown.
Incorporating the original engineering quirks, Camillo's new design is modeled in clay. Project Petunia is taking shape.
The car is instantly recognizable as a Ford GT. Everybody knows what it is. It looks modern. It's fabulous. You don't have to have a badge on it. Everybody knows what it is. So it's very special, and it's the right car.
A decision is made to mock up a concept car in time for the Detroit Auto Show, the biggest event on the U.S. automotive calendar. Camillo can't believe his luck.
Somewhere in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, if I do this thing so great, they can't refuse it. It's got to go into production.
In January 2002, a yellow Petunia is introduced to the world as the Ford GT.
The car was a huge success. The acceptance by the media and the public was stratospheric. I mean, they thought it was great. Ford should do this.
And the whole crowd was like, build it, build it.
Within weeks, Project Petunia gets the green light.
We couldn't believe it. Are they kidding?
That was really the beginning of a dream come true.
The news brings celebration, but there's a catch.
Oh, I love it!
The car must be ready in record time.
Normally on a project like this, which is all new car ground up with powertrain, chassis, mechanical, you get anywhere from 50 to 55 months to work on the project.
The Ford GT is given just 15 months from green light to launch. The fastest production car development in Ford's 100-year history.
Every time you smell that rubber, it's another $200 invoice I get. I know I'm buying that rubber on that car.
To pull it off, executives have just one manager in mind.
I always characterize Fred like a Gila monster.
Bill, where are you?
Once it locks its jaws on its prey,
How come you
the only way you're going to get the animal off of you, you got to bust its head.
See if you can find him, please.
What's the issue?
Just get Eddie. That's the issue.
The guy's 62 years old and he runs us young guys ragged.
Kip Ewing will be responsible for delivering the launch vehicles in 1/3 the usual time.
You can't work 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, without it taking a toll. I mean, I'm not going to win Husband of the Year this year.
Former race car driver Neil Hanneman is brought in as chief program engineer.
I've done a lot of races in my life. Raced at the Daytona 24-hour race 6 times, the Sebring 12-hour race. I've raced over at Bathurst in Australia. And, you know, those are like the big crown jewels of endurance racing.
His first job is to work out what to keep from the original race car.
Okay, here's the original GT40. We're probably going to keep the way the doors open. This is, again, a real unique feature, and this was designed for drivers at Le Mans to be able to get in and out of the car quickly. Well, here we're sitting in the original car, and my first impression, it's fairly cramped and tight-fitting.
No one knows this cockpit squeeze better than 1967 Le Mans winner Dan Gurney.
You're down in a car like that, so you're down like this, and here's the steering wheel, and if the roof is right here and you have a helmet on, pretty soon you're having to drive this way, and you think at 24 hours, bang, 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 that way, that's not going to be all that great.
At 6'2", Dan didn't fit. Engineers created the Gurney bubble.
Dan Gurney looks happy with progress. The Ford team are looking good midway through the race.
Gurney and Ford were just brilliant. They never stressed the car, they never were in trouble anywhere and led the whole race.
Gurney's '67 win with co-driver A.J. Foyt marked 2 historic turning points in automotive racing.
Dan Gurney joins his teammate A.J. Foyt atop the GT40.
First, Dan invented a podium tradition.
American win here today.
Someone handed me this big old magnum of champagne, and we were up on a dais or up on a platform, and all the photographers were right out here, and I just thought, well, you know, why not let them be part of this? And I was squirting all the photographers right on their lenses and everything.
That started the spraying of the champagne. And now everybody does it, but Dan doesn't get credit for that. He should get credit for it.
There was plenty to celebrate. Ford ended Ferrari's domination of Le Mans, settling a feud between Henry Ford II and Enzo Ferrari.
Henry Ford wanted to buy Ferrari, and Enzo said no, and therefore Henry Ford II decided that they would go and beat Ferrari in its backyard, i.e. European road racing.
Ferrari is again in Ford's sights.
Chapter 1 took place 40 years ago, and it was against Ferrari. I look at this as Chapter 2 in the GT saga here. We need to have an F360. That's going to be our target vehicle. We put our crosshairs on it, and the team was focused on, we need to have a car that can beat the F360.
With the rebirth of the GT40 comes the second generation of the Ferrari-Ford feud. The pressure is on. The GT team must create a supercar in 1/3 the industry standard time and have it beat one of the world's most respected vehicles, the Ferrari 360. But if time is limited, confidence is not.
It's a little bit darty. It's actually got more roll. And the on and off throttle response is just jerky, and the steering actually doesn't feel as linear. So this is exciting. I mean, it's not even going to be close when you're done. Okay?
That's what we're hoping
That's
for.
the expectation.
Fred immediately identifies a problem.
The car is larger than it's facing competition. Power to weight ratio is what it's all about. The guys are going to get more efficient to get that car to weigh the same as the competition with a bigger car. It's forcing them to get more discipline about every little ounce on the car.
To keep the weight down, the GT is given an aluminum space frame. It soon becomes apparent more weight needs to be lost.
weight is our primary driver at the moment. We have to take weight out of this.
You can get about half those ribs probably dropped out, and I bet you that back web will surface. The actual back wall is not doing a whole lot. Just got to make it happen. You're going to have hardly no time to do this, so understand that we're going to be sleeping here.
To meet the deadline, the 47-strong team need a radical approach. Traditional sequential development won't work. All the car's components, engine, drivetrain, electricals, and interior fittings must be designed simultaneously.
We had no time to correct any mistakes that was made on the program. It was a one-shot through deal.
The key is a virtual GT, a centralized computer model updated daily by engineers and designers.
Every aspect of the car was designed virtually. Typically, in the clay, you would build a feasibility model. You would build theme models, concept models, all separate, all time-consuming. We had one clay model.
This is the rear hatch.
And that clay model is Camillo's baby, which he now wants to change.
Well, we pushed in at the door 1.5 inches. I thought it was like too even.
We had to hurry Camillo along.
Camillo's been inspired by a form found in nature.
And when we pushed that door in, it made that sphere in the back look bigger. And when we did that, it gave the car a figure. You know, it had a waist, and then the rear sphere was like hips, and then it got sexy.
The styling guys, you have to hurry them along in the process.
Design needs to become hardware. With just 1/3 the usual time, fabrication must start as soon as possible.
And we said, guys, this part is being tooled next Monday. That's it.
The panels will be made from carbon fiber composite on an aluminum base. The engine will be a supercharged V8, loosely based on Ford's truck power plant. Engineers hope the screw-thread supercharger forcing air into cylinders will deliver 500 horsepower.
It's an all-new aluminum cylinder block, all-new aluminum cylinder heads, 4 valves per cylinder, twin cams, and then supercharged to get the power.
The new engine is 12 months away as engineers search for performance and reliability. During the same period, the accelerated testing program calls for the construction of 10 test vehicles or workhorses.
Workhorses fundamentally are attribute vehicles, but it just gives us an early look at what we like or don't like.
3 months down and the virtual GT starts to become real.
We've got to solve the problem with clearance to
Kip Ewing's mind is on a fundamental question.
play with that slip plane.
Will the GT need a gurney bubble to fit tall drivers?
Assuming that
The Ford GT is probably about 3-4 inches lower than anything in segment. So we were always very concerned about the stature of driver, how tall of a driver you could fit in the car. Last time I had Fred Goodnow here, is making all sorts of jokes at my expense.
I believe that.
The advantage of a virtual design model. With motion capture technology, Kip becomes part of the car.
Suit it up. Go ahead and stand up and check your range of motion. Move around a little bit and use your...
This is all part of the process of converting myself into a digital environment. With this technology, we have to set target points on different parts of our anatomy relating to principal joints so that the device can then track all these points in a digital environment.
And what he'll do is he'll put these displays over his eyes, and these will be his eyes in the virtual world. His world will move according to the way he moves his head.
In software, virtual Kip can stretch to any height, even turn into a woman.
See, we need to get a virtual Ferrari 360 at the stoplight next to us so we can virtually blow them away. That'd be great.
The GT's low seating profile can also be tested for safe visibility.
In the digital environment, we can put buildings, people, traffic lights, and with this very, very low sports car, you can always get an idea of just how much you have to kind of look down if you're parked close to a traffic light. Get an idea of the proximity of pedestrians ahead of you, just exactly how they will appear. So for direct and indirect field of view, it's a very good tool.
Meanwhile, another issue is developing.
One other thing on the original cars is the windows didn't roll down, and they're actually just riveted in.
The customer's going to want a conventional drop-in window.
There's been some ideas about
sliding windows.
Not halfway.
Flip up.
Not flip out.
You saw the sketches.
Having glass slide back.
He woke up at 4 in the morning and started sketching himself.
Wait a minute, what does the customer expect?
A regular window.
Camillo's door shape can't accommodate a drop-down window, and consensus is hard to find.
Everybody that walks in the room has a different idea for what we can do with the window.
We've got to come up with something that works here.
Back in the workshop with just 6 months to go, the first workhorse nears completion. Although fitted with a Mustang Cobra engine, the rolling chassis is the GT design. It will be a project milestone, and Kip Ewing wants to make it memorable.
I was originally told by Fred, make all the cars flat black. We don't want to attract any attention. So as it got closer to time to fit the body to the car, I'm thinking, man, there's no way I can leave these cars flat black. I'm going to paint them.
With his wife and colleague, Rich Rinke, Kip transforms the workhorse into Dan Gurney's 1967 Le Mans winner.
It's like a Johnny Cash song. We just one piece at a time stole the car and painted it over a long weekend.
Just 9 months after Petunia's green light, a new Ford GT is ready to hit the road. It's a long way from the finished product with a crude interior, but everyone's chafing for a drive at the proving ground.
Big improvement on the yellow one. This is a real car.
That's pretty amazing out of the box. I did goose it in the middle of the turns just to see what the back end would do a little bit, and it hang in nice and tight.
Only the first one of how many. They're going to get better and better as they go along. I think we have 10 of them.
This on video. That's a sweater. Yeah, but let me get in first before you start taping, eh? This will be a great car. Not just a good car, a great car. Most people think, oh, it's another American muscle car. It'll go fast in a straight line, but it won't compete with the Europeans' best. Not only is that incorrect, it'll kick their butts.
What do you think, Fred?
Oh my God. I can't tell you how excited I am today. It's been a long time getting to this point. Thank you, God.
It's the kind of lift the team needs. The accelerated schedule has been tough, but with less than 6 months to launch, it's getting tougher. Wind tunnel tests show the car could lift at speed.
We knew we had to do some aerodynamic work, and we tried to do it all under the car. That way we could maintain the shape over the top of the car.
Out of sight, fins are added. They work like upside-down wings, pulling the car to the ground.
This is made out of fiberglass.
The wind tunnel also shows up some inefficiencies in the GT's distinctive air ducts.
500 horsepower, you need a lot of cooling because you're generating a lot of heat.
The side scoops draw air into the brakes and engine bay. The front-mounted radiators cool the engine, oil, and provide the air conditioning.
We changed these scoops, the side scoops. We did a number of things here and actually improved the flow. We found that we had a problem with our first design, and we made improvements on the flow.
The distance between front radiator and the mid-engine presents its own problems for engineer Kurt Hill.
We've got 20-some feet of lines for the coolant to travel through for and back, and it presents some thermal inertia problems just from getting the fluid moving and stopping things, and then also just the amount of coolant we've got to deal with. There's about 30 liters of coolant in the system.
And every liter of coolant adds more weight, something the GT can barely afford. The current weight tally shows 3,405 pounds. The car's still heavier than its competitors.
They want to possibly feed a little bit more into here, and they also want.
But the chassis engineers are making progress. This new strut is half the weight of the original in Workhorse 1.
So they're talking to possibly saving about another half a kilo out of it. The big thing now is we got to have this in the vehicle next week. We're probably working it across the night shift in order to make sure the machining's done in time, and then slap them in the weld cells, because the minute these castings hit the door, they got to be on.
Its race car origin requires another compromise.
And we've got gas tanks on both sides, and that's something we're probably going to change based on what we want to do with our car. We're probably going to put the gas tanks inside.
The team need to replace the two side tanks with one in the middle.
We've got the fuel tank mounted in the center of the vehicle, which from a safety standpoint is the most protected area.
There's not much room, and a small tank will need filling too often. The solution is ingenious, a ship-in-the-bottle design.
All the internal componentry of the fuel tank is basically mounted on a stick, and then the plastic tank is blow molded around that stick, and what that does is it minimizes any openings in the tank. You don't need all these service access holes to assemble parts into the tank or a big seam around the sides.
Meanwhile, Camillo and his design team are working on the GT interior. Again, they want to be true to the original.
It's not the kind of interior that, you know, says, I have more stuff in here than you do. Nobody cares if there's a radio, really, and there's no cup holders or an ashtray, and there isn't any of that stuff.
The interior layout is mocked up in clay, so the design team can get a feel for it.
What we did was we carried over the racetrack theme here. We had the large tachometer right in front of the driver and the speedometer, and of course the 7 gauges going across. The surface is very, very smooth, very simple, but it's very geometric at the same time. I wouldn't call this organic by any means. It's very tight, very mathematical, very geometric.
The best part of this job is actually having an office like this. When I hop in here, all I'm concentrating on is how to make the car better.
All over the country, test drivers like Jamie Cullen report their cockpit experience to the engineers, constantly refining the design.
Workhorse 1 is our ride and handling and tire car. That car is basically to prove out the suspension design. We screen tires. We basically have 4 workhorses that the chassis development crew had. One is our steering and brake car. Car 3 was for noise, vibration, and harshness testing, developing sound package. Car 4 was for ABS and what we call electronic brake distribution, so it was another brake car.
With workhorse development in full swing, launch supervisor Kip Ewing moves on to his next challenge, building 3 launch vehicles in just 3 months.
Fred told me, you've got until June 2nd to get 3 show cars ready. That was non-negotiable.
All three cars representing the GT's famous 1-2-3 Le Mans win have to be perfect and have to incorporate all development currently underway. They're moving targets.
You're saying low, he's saying short and long. Which is it? I want to know what's going on here.
And there's a few issues that still need to be resolved.
I'm going to find out. There's two different brackets.
The dominant read.
The power window needs to happen.
Right here. And this is the line that you want to get right.
Will the final Ford GT need a gurney bubble? And in a showdown with Ferrari, will history repeat itself?
This car looks good.
Although the team have just 1/3 the time usually allotted a new production car, they're not cutting any corners. Just 60 days to go, and final panels are ready for the first launch car. But there's a slight imperfection.
See how it's getting a little bit pronounced through here?
This minor unevenness means the whole car will need to be hand-sanded smooth. A bigger problem still needs to be resolved.
People have to be able to stick their arm out the window. You got to get your McDonald's food. You know, you gotta say hi to the police officer when he comes up after you've been driving that car.
This ties in with the window thing. If you come
The
over
rolling window debate has moved from should it to how should it.
You know, we had all these issues with the window, but we couldn't hurt the aerodynamics of the car.
Commercial reality means the door shape must accommodate curved glass. After months of deliberation, engineers and designers bite the bullet, widen the doors, and move the air intakes.
So we've got it now, though, where the glass will just shoot right down the channel.
So you can see where the clay's been added. So in the wind tunnel, we actually added this clay, and then this air scoop we moved in and out until we got enough airflow in it. So this was what we were doing to really help get the body to where we could roll the window down.
It was a great moment when everybody agreed that this glass will go down. And when we presented it all the way to, you know, our upper management, and they looked at it and they all thought that they could live with this and they could get some sleep because they were losing sleep over that.
Another breakthrough. Clever engineering creates more legroom for tall drivers.
We went for a front suspension design which optimized the foot package and by orienting the control arms such that they face forward.
The original steering control arms extended to the rear, but facing them forward gives more legroom. The Ford GT won't need a gurney bubble.
So now a person of my height, 6'4", can fit very comfortably in this car. I have no trouble with legroom, and I have no trouble with headroom, even without the gurney bubble.
With most of the packaging issues now resolved, the race to build 3 launch cars accelerates. With less than 2 months to go, the heat is on, but so is a sense of history.
It's really cool to be a part of this. This is the first time we put an American car that's up against the Europeans. It's definitely nice to be part of that history.
Part of that history is the Ford-Ferrari feud.
You know, if I drive it first, you may not get a chance.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'll be calling AAA.
Explain that.
Neil Hanneman will give both cars a workout.
If I like the car, you know, I'll get some reference times, and then I'll come in and jump into Ferrari and take it out.
Down south at the Road Atlanta track in Georgia, new generations of Ford and Ferrari meet again.
All
was he? Okay, so then I'm taking the Ferrari out. I drew short straw.
Vehicle engineering manager Tom Reichenbach drives the Ferrari first.
I don't get a chance to drive this Ferrari very often, so it'll be quite fun.
We need to beat it by a second and a half. So the objective is to test the Ferrari there, test our car, do some tuning just to see how we can make the car go faster.
It's a very good circuit. It's got high-speed straights. It's got a lot of fast corners. It's got some slow corners. It's a really good test of a car.
It's the first time a GT workhorse has stretched its legs on a racetrack. It's only running a temporary 400 horsepower engine, yet it's beating the Ferrari's lap times. But Neil senses something's not quite right.
I came into that down the fast straightaway under hard braking, and the car got a little squirrely to me, it did. I had a little ladder load, and it kind of shifted the car, and then it just...
The diagnosis is not the suspension setup, but how the rubber meets the road.
Cornering compliance with the tire?
Could
yeah,
be.
maybe. I mean, we're saying
Could be.
The other tyres that we have on, but the offset.
They fit a variation with stiffer walls.
They said, I think we have a little tire here that'll fix that. And we put a different set of tires on the car.
If you get the tyres right, the car will be fantastic.
Problem solved.
And they were right. I went out, stood on the brakes, and the car was just dead stable, braked in a perfect straight line. And actually, I think it did the corners better.
To rule out driver difference, Neil and Tom swapped cars throughout the afternoon. But whichever way they slice it, the GT is quicker.
And I pushed the Ferrari as hard as I could. There was no sense in taking it easy on that car. If we pushed it so hard, we actually broke it down there. We ended up damaging the clutch.
Look at the smoke. The difference between the Ferrari and our car was about 3 to 4 seconds a lap.
It was great out there. I mean, it's a chance to really whip this car hard. It's going to want to make me start racing again.
We have about the same horsepower as the Ferrari, but for some reason ours outperformed it on that day.
And we got 100 more horsepower coming.
Back in Michigan, the new engine is waiting. 500 horsepower, ready for business.
This engine, we have the first full prototype engines, which are going on dyno on Monday, in fact. Then they will start, when they get the base calibration running, they will start checking emissions to start getting an idea of what they're going to have to do to pass emissions.
Although it must still pass an emissions test, everyone's anxious to get an engine into the first of the 3 launch cars.
This is really the culmination of about 8 months worth of engineering.
It's another major milestone for the team, but the question is, will it start?
Is it a neutral rig? I think so. These aren't totally adjusted, so watch your legs. Ready?
We didn't have an opportunity to run those engines in on dynos before they were decked. We had some very great engine builders building those engines, but until you turn it on, You just don't know.
The day seems to be ending in disappointment, but a final software tweak in the engine management system delivers.
It's the first time all the systems in the car have been talking to each other, so just a little bit of sorting out. But we'll be able to sleep this weekend.
With the launch date just 6 weeks away, the assembly team work around the clock to complete the 3 cars. At the last minute, Fred Goodnow discovers a problem.
Did you talk to JR about it?
This is the first time we've ever seen the seat bar come in low, and it's either because it was installed upside down.
He's not saying, you're saying low, he's saying short and long. Which is it? I want to know what's going on here. We got two, Matt says, and I trust what he's telling me, that there's 2 different, I'm going to find out, there's 2 different brackets.
I agree. The smallest of things, the seat adjuster bars, don't seem to work.
The adjuster bars on the seats were installed upside down by the supplier. It's a simple change, made a lot of it. Everybody's nerves are running thin.
With 2 weeks to go, the vehicles are complete and ready to be photographed.
If there's ever a car that made you want to do something bad to get it, this is the car.
Randy Lawrenson captures the first production Ford GTs in history.
Since the time I was a little boy, GT40s have been a passion to me and so when this project came along, I had to be part of it, no matter what I had to do or how cheap I had to work. I wanted to be a part of it. They're just, I think, about the most beautiful automobile ever made. Yeah, the rear haunches are very sexy in their line. I like the car actually better from the rear than from the front. It doesn't belong in here just sitting looking pretty. It needs to get out there and make a little bit of noise.
These images will be carried by the world's automotive press. And in 2 days, Project Petunia will have her public debut.
Right now, we've got the car's speed clipped at 35 miles per hour and rev limited to 4,000 RPM.
With the launch just 48 hours away, no chances are taken with these prized vehicles. The engines are temporarily crippled.
It's a form of putting an electronic babysitter on the car. You know, the flesh is weak whenever you get a hold of a machine like this.
Wow, that looks so great when it pulls up next to you.
It's a trip.
Kip and Camillo are no longer in virtual reality.
We're just driving your sketch and driving everything that was on our computer screen. It's just nuts.
I want to get like a couple bottles of champagne and just stand outside these cars and just shake it and blast it all over the place. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like we won something.
It feels like we won something.
Yeah.
Let's keep the cars clean until after we give them to Bill Ford.
Well, don't worry, I'll just fire it at you.
But the excitement of the test track will turn to nerves 24 hours later with the public launch at the Ford Centennial. When the GT40 made history with a 1-2-3 finish at Le Mans in 1966, the checkered flag flew in the rain. Four decades later, the weather seems on target.
Not the first time we've had 3 GTs in a row in the rain before, so it's appropriate given the history of the vehicle, crossing a finish line in the rain.
It looks like Le Mans, 66.
The weather hasn't dampened crowd expectations.
We still got thousands of people come out to see that. They were getting drenched like rats, you know.
Now Dan Gurney shows up. He wants to get in the car. He's never been in it before. You don't know if he's going to fit or not. So it's kind of on pins and needles on how he's going to respond to the car.
It's easy.
He closes the door, doesn't have to duck. No gurney bubble required.
Your keys, will you? No, this is great.
First solo concert. Select from a green.
For thousands coming from around the country, the moment has arrived. After 15 months working 7 days a week, you'd think the team could relax, but not yet.
Just got to make sure the cars get off safely, take them to a party, have some wine, have some cheese, take them to the track tomorrow and start shaking them down.
The team feel their creation has not finally arrived until it receives the approval of Ford's racing legends.
I told him next time we're going to pull it.
Does he think the car's okay?
Like Dan Gurney and Jackie Stewart.
There's all these hard engineering metrics that we work to in terms of 0 to 60, quarter mile, top speed. But then there's how does that car feel? All these intangibles that you can't put dimensions to. And no one has defined the intangible quality that makes a car a Ford GT. And it's going to be very interesting to see what the personality of the car is on a racing track.
It feels good, doesn't it? I mean, it's really, it's got a lot of grip.
This thing is a blast to drive. It's so controllable. You get it out of shape, you get it into a drift. You can just control it. It's very progressive and linear.
Probably going 125 there, I would guess.
Know-how in bringing something from the past to today's world is a lot more difficult than people realize. They've achieved that.
15 months ago, the Ford GT was only a drawing. It might have stayed that way, like many concepts before, if it weren't for the small team that brought it to life.
Some people might call it it's a race car you can drive on the street, but it's really much more than that.
They were challenged by time and by history.
They love the car. They think they're just phenomenal, you know, what we've done. Dan can't say enough about it. I mean, that's really good feedback, you know.
Everybody comes out with a big smile.
I think we've really put together something that is going to make a statement that's going to be around a lot longer than we are.
A legend is reborn.